At that point, I wasn't dating because it was after, I think I was healing from a previous breakup, and I didn't want anything to do with a man. Actually, I had told God that I don't want a man in my, I have given up. In this journey, let me just serve you. So anything to do with a man, please don't bring such conversations to me. So I just want to seek you and know you more, and anything to do with a man, it's a no-go zone. So what made us to be close, but on friendship basis, I remember a certain time, you heard what I just said before, that I was so much desperate for God. And so I needed someone who can teach me, who I can ask all the questions that I need to, offload every question that I have about God. I needed answers. So I needed someone at least who I can be, not a pastor like per se that I have to keep going to church, but someone who can do follow-up, that we can talk, I ask any question on an open basis. So I remember a certain time, I got a dream, and I saw him. Remember, he's still a new face, not so close to me, but I had a dream. We were rolling somewhere in a grass, like somewhere steep. And I was like, now what kind of a dream is this? And who is this guy? And is this what we call teaching? Is this something that is supposed to, you see, like something that is supposed to entice you to get close to someone, you know? So I remember after that morning, after I dreamt, that morning, he called me. And he told me, I think the first time you called, you were just asking how I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do you call me? And I had a dream with you last night. You know, it was kind of funny. It was not adding up. But I said, maybe this is the way God, I think you want this guy to teach me. So his introduction bit was like, I have so many questions about God. And I was like, yes, I have a lot. I think hata nilikuwa na beef na God. So I needed so many things to be cleared. So I remember that was the first time we set a date to meet, to learn, not even to know each other. My business was I needed to know, to have answers about God. So I remember he told me where we need to meet, and we met in town. And I had a notebook to write the things that I will learn concerning God, the questions that I had in regards to everything that I had gone through and all that kind of stuff. So that is how it started, how we started getting closer.
Initially, we started becoming friends, often because she was living with those her friend who was attending church. So oftentimes we would meet. So one time in my prayer, God tells me that I need to teach her. And the manner in which God wanted me to teach her was like closely. Like God was suggesting for me, this is your wife. But I told God, I will not approach her. You go and tell her first. So that, I didn't want to come that close, because she had told me she doesn't want anything to do with men. She was still healing, and she was so tough. By the way, she was a tough lady, and she's still a tough lady. So those boundaries, she kept them. So when she had the dream, I was like, okay. God told me that now the dream is there. So I called her in the morning and we chatted. Then we had the first date. So the first date, I remember she wore a black dress and we were in a hotel. So we just talked. Then she was going to the washroom and I looked at her and I was like, God, I think she can be a good one. Because God had suggested it earlier, but I denied because I knew I was in a relationship. But the way I looked at her, I'm like, she could be a good one, because I loved her spirit and her soul. She was like a sponge. She would absorb everything, and even the manner of dealing with things, I'm like, okay, I might consider this, but now God has to guide me on how to go about it. So that was the first meeting. We learned, I taught her, we planned for another meeting. So there were subsequent meetings after that. And we realized that we were falling in love without knowing.